everybody. I recently had around about 12 or 15 appearances on GB News against Jim Dale. And at first, Jim Dale started accusing me of being funded by fossil fuel industry and all that stuff they come up with. I'm not, by the way. I highly subsidize my work. Um, Very rarely do I get all my expenses covered, and so on. So he then went on to continually attack me personally, ad hominem attacks on me, rather than try to deal with the evidence. Now, what I tried to do in those TV appearances was bring up factual data, and I used his sources. I used the IPCC, the Met Office here in Britain, NOAA in America, NASA, and the UN. And all he would do is deny them because he didn't understand the subject. And in the green room with his chats with me and on there, I quickly found out he had no knowledge at all about climate. About climate at all. He puts himself forward as a climate consultant, which amazes me. But I also discovered that he really doesn't understand meteorology. On air, for example, he denied the existence of the multi-decadal, I can never say it, Atlantic Oscillation. You can't talk to him about things because he has no knowledge. And it made it very difficult for me, actually. I'd prefer someone who really knew the stuff against me. But no, he was like that. And I took these personal attacks week after week because all I believe in, it doesn't matter what your qualifications are. It really doesn't. So on that, I was giving him a pass. What mattered was the evidence and what you're doing. But when he personally attacked millions of people, calling them sort of sub-educational to support this cause, I thought, that's it. That's it. And I took him out on air. Now, I'm not the one who discovered the fact. All he was is a deckhand from the Navy, took an observational course to read barometers and thermometers and so on. And that's it. He's a Navy meteorological observer, someone who records the data from these meteorological instruments. And that's it. That's his qualification. And so, having insulted millions of people, I decided to take him out, and I took him out on air, if you like. I exposed it on air, and his argument was he had 40 years experience. Well, I'm sorry, but it's experience built on no foundation of knowledge, and that doesn't get you anywhere. At that I left it. I always, as I always did, follow up a program, the taking out of Jim Dale, and he deserved what he got. But then recently he comes on air on many channels saying that climate deniers should be criminalised. And first of all, in science, there's no such thing as denier. I mean, if I'd have been 3 or 4 years ago as an astrophysicist saying that galaxies formed much earlier than all the models say, than all the work says, that everyone agrees on, I'd have been laughed at. But the James Webb Telescope, for example, showed I would have been right. So in science, there's no such thing as denier, and science without skepticism is not science. So I left it at that, and really quite shortly after that, that was the last one I did, I think, with Jim Dale. I went on to 2 more episodes with another person who was equally as bad, in fact probably worse, but I had a little bit more knowledge, I had a little bit of education behind him. So that's what happened. And then, but this recent thing where I, as a climate denier, should be criminalised is just too much. And he's doing the rounds on TV and radio with this subject. And this is born out of pure ignorance by Jim Dale. So what I'm going to show you now is a clip from Talk TV, where he came on, and they obviously knew the background story here. Again, I was not the one who found out the details. Someone else did and told me about it, and that somebody else also had an email from the Met Office, from the Royal Meteorological Society, who are the only people in the UK who can qualify you as a meteorologist. And they clearly state he is not a member, nor has ever been a member at any level of that organisation. Now, he argues in this clip that in court he's qualified because he's going to court and testify. I believe this to be the case. The only reason he gets away with that in court is people assume he's a meteorologist and don't question it. Because if any court case, say it was a murder court case, and he came on and gave evidence, and someone said, hold on, what's your qualifications? Let's testify how expert you are. He wouldn't be able to. And they'd have to throw, if it's a previous court case, so someone would have been jailed for life or something because of the meteorological evidence at that time of the incident, it would be chucked out. So this is not a qualification. I have to congratulate him on bluffing for 40 years. I have to congratulate him on building a business. And I wish him no harm, actually. But he can't go around doing these things like jailing people like me, if you like, criminalising people like me because of what I do. Anyway, here's the episode. And with that, I hope this whole sad saga with Jim Dale is over.
Mate, you're not only crazy, you are dangerous.
You're right. You don't actually know you're doing it. It's all right, Jim. You don't know you're doing it.
This is like burning the books. This is like burning the books that the Nazis did in 1939.
This is the difference between me and you, Russell. And this is...
I'm sensible and I'm for freedom of speech and democracy.
You're not. You haven't worked in meteorology for 40 years like I have. You've not.
Are you even qualified?
And that can make you a bit jaded.
Jim?
I tell you about qualifications.
What is your qualification?
I go in. I'm a meteorological observer.
Don't ask about his
What's your qualification, Jim?
Don't ask him about his qualification.
Apart from dogma, I know you've probably got a degree in dogma, but apart from that, what is your degree?
Well, let me change it around a little bit.
Just answer the question.
No. I've just said meteorological observer.
Is it an uncomfortable question to answer?
Russell, listen to what I'm saying, okay? I go to court as an expert witness. Nobody can go into a court.
I watched Liam McCaskill since the 70s.
Manslaughter, road traffic accidents, insurance cases, and I give qualified advice, okay? I couldn't do that without qualification and without experience.
What's the qualification?
Let's just get that. Well, I tell you, I've told you what...
Jim, really easy question.
I'll tell you what.
What's the qualification, Jim?
And what's your qualification for denying it? Zero.
No, I'm not the one that's coming on TV and radio.
We're not denying it. We're
saying that the people that should be prosecuted because they think should be prosecuted.
Should be open debate.
You are giving your erroneous, dangerous comments based on zero, apart from what you've read and what you're directing.
Jim, you would have much more credibility if you could actually answer a question.